Good morning or good night, Gacha Kingdom. Before going deep into this video, I like to shout out one of my moots, Ibalte, aka Eikþyrnir's husband, aka #1 baby Camilla hater. Also shout out to Brazil mentioned! Bialte, I'm sure that you read this title. I just asked for forgiveness because I needed, look man, like you have, wait, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had 55 husbands all at once at one point. I feel like it would be okay if I borrowed him just for one night. Maybe two. I asked for forgiveness. I'm so sorry, but I needed him so bad. About 8 months ago from the date that I'm recording this video, I made a video about Eikþyrnir Fire Emblem heroes. This time, this video's protagonist is yet again Eikþyrnir Fire Emblem heroes. However, I'm not going to be focusing too much on Fire Emblem heroes, even though that game in itself, I would never in my life, I would recommend somebody to go and play that game. True dedicated Fire Emblem fans, like if y'all are still playing heroes, like you guys are the strongest. You are single-handedly funding intelligent systems in making another Three Houses games. Like the Three Houses discourse, it's all an illusion. It's always going to be another 10 years of Three House discourse. Now, even though he is the main protagonist for this video, I will get back to him in a sec. I will, however, put y'all on some game because I feel like not a lot of y'all are still playing Fire Emblem. I know that the Nintendo Switch is like $1 million right now. That said, I'm not gonna recommend how you gonna play a Fire Emblem game, but first part of this video, I remember one of my moots was asking all of us what your favorite males from Three Houses were and who your favorite females from Three Houses. My favorite is, other than Bernadetta, I really like Bernadetta as a meme. My favorite was like Cynthia. I was like ride or die. All the men in that game, I was like straight. I was so straight playing Three Houses. There was not a single man in that game that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, I want your babies. No, like, there was not a single man. Like, I know a lot of people like Dimitri and kind of wish that he had the bisexual route of having female and male bylith. But, like, well, to be fair, I didn't play Blue Lions. Don't tell anybody I did not play Blue Lions. Don't come for me. Do not. I see all y'all going to the comments. Another 10 years of Three House discourse. But again, there was not, all the guys were, they were just kind of boring. Engage, that's really hard to say. Engage, Fire Emblem Engage. There wasn't a lot of characters I really liked, personality wise. I liked looking at them, but I didn't really like them like as much as like Cynthia or Shamir or Bernadetta or Lorenz's fuck ass haircut. Like, there wasn't anybody that really made me go, yeah, I'm ride or die with them. I was just kind of like, yeah, which I kind of find really funny because with the Switch era of intelligent systems goes woke, but they were always woke. Yeah, always since the beginning. They kind of been like dropping the ball. Like, I like Claude. Is Claude the only one that does same-sex marriage in Fire Emblem Heroes as guys? I know that Dorothy and Edelgard do, but I think Claude was like the only one, right? And then like in Engage, I know that there was a lot more options. And I find it really funny that the male voice actor for All Clear and Lewis are actually married in real life. I found that really funny. Back then, what could be even gayer than being in a gay relationship? Men in arms. I always bring up the first front runner of being gay is Ike. I mean, like Ike with his teacher Soren, and then in Engage where you fight Soren. If you have Ike, he's like, wait, no, you don't have to fight me. Wait, hold up. And then his implied ending with Ranulf, with both of them going out into a journey to save the world and shit. Our bisexual king that saved the series, both hanging out with the male and female Robins, both equally amounts of times. Very cool, chrom. I know I just brought up like the basic ass bitch ships, and I haven't talked about some real shit like, I don't know, Hector and Eliwood. I don't know if they actually are like in synergy other than brothers at arms. I never played the Blazing Blade. Y'all don't boo at me. I know y'all got the tomatoes, but wait, I'm on your side. Let me get to this, okay? I have a point. I'm just saying that I feel like intelligent systems back then was really like trying to have these like deeper relationships, even if they weren't gay or not. Like, you could like spin it around and be like, oh my god, they are but you know, like at the end of the day, if you do just see them as friends or brothers in arms or whatever, then hey, that's cool too, because I feel like they have a deeper bond than a lot of the ones now where you can just marry whoever the fuck you want, as we see in Engage. But I don't think anybody can really remember anybody really from Engage, other than maybe like Marigold, who was just a girl failure, and the other characters that had great designs, but can you remember their personality? I don't think a lot of people can. And Three Houses is kind of the same way. If you don't really think about the main lords and like their side companions, a lot of the cast kind of just like falls between the wayside. There's some shining diamonds, but like a lot of them are kind of just like, eh. Now, it could be like a flipped argument that the older games, you can't really remember a lot of the cast. And true, yeah, there are some unmemorable characters in every single Fire Emblem game. That said, you couldn't marry everybody in those games. But if you took like Fire Emblem Awakening and Fates' like entire cast and you compared them to Three Houses and Engage's cast, were some just anime stereotypes? Yeah, but for the most part, like, they are more memorable in their stereotypes for Awakening and Fates' case than Three Houses and Engage's case. At least to me. I don't know about all y'all, but that's how I just really hope that whatever that Three Houses sequel is, oh my god, please be good. Y'all stole Alucard Castlevania, so like, please do not drop the ball, IS. Oh my god, please. Part 2, now that I have like 100% viewer retention rate, and some of y'all are currently typing up a comment about how I'm wrong, I'm going to be talking about how I was able to steal somebody else's fictional husband for a night or two. I'm sorry for throwing you under the bus, Baiju, but I think about your comment a lot about word for word. Welcome to hyperfixating on one specific man. It's fun. Well, until you buy his cosplay just to sleep in his coat when you're being a sad boy TM. Totally didn't do that with Blade. How'd you get that idea? I am not at the point yet where I am buying cosplays of my husband's and my wife's clothes. Maybe. But this month at my job, I was like mentally like at my limit. I'm okay now, and I am mentally stable for the most part, I think. Fire Emblem, the gay, the yaoi community, the Fujos and Fudanshis, like we're kind of like a dying breed. And that's not just because that like Fire Emblem's got like no good men. Like, I think we got like amazing men. It's just that as a whole, like, thanks to Engage, is kind of like mediocre kind of like sales where everyone was kind of like, it's cool, but like not really like engaging, unironically. Fire Emblem's kind of been on a decline ever since, and there hasn't been a lot of like less research on the Fire Emblem men ever since. So when we do get research on like one of the previous boys, like Ike is a very popular man. I've seen like old man Hector and younger Hector go at it once. All that to say is that when Fire Emblem gay research floats my way, I like hold on to that like the same way like Fujo's hold on to dramatical murder. That is my muse, okay? And I love Fire Emblem as a game series too, but like, look, like this really hits different. And when you're following Eikþyrnir's husband, and Eikþyrnir's husband finds artwork of his husband, and you're like number 2 Eikþyrnir fan, let's just say that's the reason why I had to borrow him for a little bit. I promise it was just one night. Like, really, how can I not? This man's got jugulars that can provide like enough breast milk to feed 5 babies like for an entire month, and he could still have way too much inside of his jugulars up on top. And don't even get me started about his 10 elk long schlong down in between his legs that are like sculptures themselves. And yes, maybe it took a little bit to have it fit inside me, but I got it to fit. And look, like, it sounds so nice to just have a service top and then like just not be able to think for like an entire night and have a good night's sleep because of it. It sounds so nice. I will admit the clarity did hit me when I realized that Eikþyrnir was still shoving as much as possible inside my and he was still going at it at the same speed. That was a bit terrifying, but after a little bit and one more load afterwards, I ascended to heaven. Luckily, because Eikþyrnir is a divine beast, he was able to stop me from ascending to heaven, and I feel fine ever since. And thank you, Abelte, for letting me borrow your husband, even though I didn't ask, and this probably wouldn't be the last time, because I found out recently that there's an Eikþyrnir in Arknights, and